Get some momentum going very easily.
Yeah, but reading on an iPad did not work for me.
I'll try it.
Luminosity on the T side of Mirage, and this is very much a... I don't know if this is attempted as a hard counter rather than a retake. It does eventually mean they have a retake situation as well, but I would imagine the initial intention was more of a hard counter on A than it was retake on B. But here we are. Here is the situation. The 5 USPs. Yo doesn't know where to aim, but he still manages to get a kill in that situation. 3 versus 4 at the moment for Luminosity.
They're looking a little bit laboured, but you never know how the headshots will finally fall. So Luminosity not out of this just yet. It's starting to get a little bit tough though, and indeed SK angry. Cold Zero angry. Cold Zero does not know what it is to not be the best team in the world.
What does lose mean?
Mad Zero.
It means this, Cold Zero. I still don't know. What is it? But what does it mean?
Yeah.
What is lose? To lose.
We don't have a word for that in our language. And then Taco, and then Fallen goes, yeah, we do.
I thought you were serious for a moment when you first said that.
There are some languages that avoid words like that.
Just the Glocks. Glocks! But they will not find success. Oh! Oh! No. How dare you? How dare you? How dare you?
How bloody dare you?
It's 2-0 for SK, very fast action, and Luminosity going for that AK buy. Galil to Yell. And everybody has a smoke and a flash except Nekis, who has a Molotov and a flash. So I do wonder what kind of round Luminosity have here, because they definitely have... Like every team worth their salt should have a round for if you lose the pistol but get the bomb down.
Yeah.
Oh, no. With a deagle. Please.
With a deagle, yeah.
Please.
He's got the MP9 in his front pocket.
I like that.
But he reached into the waistband.
Yeah. He reached into the waistband. Haven't heard that before.
Get the strap.
Get the strap.
Get the strap.
There you go. This is a map that I studied a lot recently with SK. Because, like, why the hell are they losing? They got Stewie, who is one of the best Mirage players on Cloud9, and just one of the best Mirage teams in the world. And then SK, who are fantastic on Mirage. Why are they losing?
So why are they losing? A
lot of the reasons, as a great, because there's 2 videos. Okay, my video's gonna come out soon. I did a while ago, I didn't upload it. And then there's Sean, demo reviewed the exact same game, and we came to some of the same conclusions. That was one map was versus Greyhound, because that was like a big what. And a big thing was their mid control was just kind of weak on T side, where they were not throwing a lot of the same flashes they normally do, and they gave up a lot of opening kills.
I thought Greyhound was a bust.
That's what I thought too. I tweeted that, I think. But
I used to take the Greyhound to Philadelphia.
I used to throw up on the Greyhound when I went to work with my mom when I was a kid.
You got motion sickness on a bus?
Yeah.
That sucks.
I got it on everything and got it everywhere.
I used to have a thing where whenever I was on the coaches, I would fall asleep and I wouldn't be able to stop myself. Just immediately fall asleep.
Some people would call that a skill.
Yeah, I wish it would work on planes. Yeah, something about the motion. Just made me go to sleep straight away. By the way, that's pretty awesome, by the way, because you don't really lose anything from doing that for a few shots, and that is a potential outcome. As slim as it may be, you might as well.
Well then, Luminosity have not had much of anything in terms of success just yet. Only 3 kills so far in these 3 rounds, make that 4. Fast moving Rammakers just stopped from getting under some cover. Stewie very aware, the grenade in the lower area makes it safe to jump down, or safer rather. And there we go, 4 rounds, 4 kills for Luminosity, which means money for SK.
Money.
Money, money, money.
Yeah, very quickly done. AK is back out again for Luminosity. The round loss bonus obviously accruing to a significant proportion amount. To lose this one, that'll be $3,400, the max loss bonus. Counter-Strike is game with a very cool comeback mechanic. But it's not cheap.
It's expensive.
So Luminosity now working that mid control. Stu, does he want to get in there?
Wow, he's did they switch positions? It's on Cat now.
So if you missed the last game, 16-11 was the final score for Luminosity, and Nekis, he had 3,500 damage at the end of the... I think he had like 130 ADR or something like that. It was beasting. Over, I think 35 frags, something like that. It'd be great to see a repeat performance from him here, but... Stewie, good position. Oh, he doesn't get the kill too quickly. Where's the trade, though? Where is the trade? He's on 12 HP. He's still alive. Still takes some burn damage as he tries to pursue the frag. Stu realizes, tries to get the hell out of there. Steel will punish though, but he did take some damage for it, but it's still a 4v2 in favor of Luminosity. SK, how do they get back into this one? Well, maybe they don't. That will probably seal the deal here. But they have a bye.
Yes, they do. Coldzera alone. PKL still lurking. Looking for something. Luminosity close to their first round. Almost a second play loss, but no, they will prevail. And that's an important factor for them going into the future rounds. It matters.
A couple of very important interactions right here. That one was one of them. Yell, even after Window was completely Molotov'd out, made sure that nobody was up on the boost under the on the bricks inside Window, and caught Fur on the smallest peak ever. That was a huge frag. And then after that, Bolt's, you know, anchoring B site, not getting a kill is another one.
Bouncing off the invisible wall to hit one of the archers. Wall of smoke to isolate some players, but Nekis is down too early. No wall of smoke, just the one smoke there. It is a fake, of course. And Nekis was sacrificed, and that means 4 players on B and only 1 on A. Luminosity have sold a fake.
Yeah, that's beautiful. It's also quite cool to see Fur rocking the AWP. You've got 4 players on this team that are very scary with the AWP. This is a common push that you might see at the beginning of the round for Fur, but this is at the end of the round, a 3v3 retake, and they've dealt with the man in mid. And now it's the men in the site. Good grenade there. Damage onto PKL as he waits in the corner of the bomb site. Showtime making things ever problematic. High flying flash to deter the oncoming CTs, and they are very deterred at this point. The double orbs, definitely something you want to hold on to when your money is this broken. I wonder if they'll force with the double orbs. I think you will. You should definitely do it. Double orbs are really strong, so force.
Yeah, keep it. They know how to use their double ops. They can play 1A, 1B, 1 mid, 1B. There's a lot of options. And they need to stop Luminosity, who just won a couple of very, very good rounds. I don't know how Coldzera gets caught completely off guard in CT there. That's not something you see every day. Especially after they threw 1 smoke on Cat. But they didn't block off the important pillar, I feel like. They blocked off the side that didn't cover the windows.
That was a big opportunity for Yell that did not really go the way that he wanted. Still time though to create additional chances. Things do calm down a bit though as Luminosity reassess the situation. Very interesting that SK decided to rotate a lot of presence towards A now, just leaving 1 man towards B. It is Fur with the AWP. Great gun for it.
Yeah, and it seems to be a good read as well. They know Luminosity are not shy to play a slow round with no presence toward mid whatsoever. SK will go looking for information, and they found some of it in the trades. It's up to you to decide who they're favorable for, but at this point, definitely the CT side. Is there a gap for Stewie? Is there something? Looks like there is a gap there, but Stewie will not be the slightest of gaps. Fallen showing presence, and he's fallen back, no pun intended, which makes it hard to get the bomb down, but Yell is holding the superior angle.
Doesn't get caught by Stewie though. Nekis in a winnable 1v2 with CT available. Nope if he wants it. But I'm sure after the AK skill that we saw displayed on Train, he's going to stick to the rifle. It's the AWP though of Fur that does the damage. secures the round for SK. A round that seemingly could have gone the way of Luminosity, but they were fighting from disadvantage, I think, most of the time here. SK had a perfect read after the initial apps altercation where Yell missed a shot. Gambled that it would be an A play, but they would rotate all the way after showing, seeing the AWP there towards B. And they were correct, as James mentioned. And that's the 5th round rewarded to SK.
That shot was insane. You can see it from his POV in the game.
Five to 2. Flashes stopping the push from Luminosity. Many players towards B with intent. There's a third man making his way towards the B bomb site that's fallen. Holding an angle on the window now. Maybe deploying a grenade or two. Still looking for any rotation from SK, but they won't venture into this position. And again, not much presence in mid, if any. No presence per se, but there is somebody at the top keeping the CTs honest. And if Fer wasn't rocking an AWP, he probably would be top mid by now. But because they have that second sniper setup, as you can see, the identity of SK might have changed in that respect.
That is very strange.
This is a big movement though. Catching Cole completely off guard. Steel makes his way forwards there. I like that he shoots as he keeps running because he cares more about this position. And wow, Steel able to deal with Stewie very effectively as PKL now looks down with a very good vantage point, and unfortunately sort of burning there for Fallen. PKL though, last man standing. One more player to deal with here. My god, PKL, one more to go. It is the AWP Fer. Last time the AWP Fer was the defining difference, but PKL intelligently switching over for the AWP will flash Fer off the angle and then take the angle himself. PKL looking to clutch this for Luminosity. What an important round as well. He knows where Fer's coming from. Spotted him again. How do you deal with this situation? That's the spot to peek. Fer punished for whipping the shots. PKL handling that so well.
That was nicely done by PKL. And a good round from Steel as well. I mean, coming this far out, Stewie obviously looked at him, but then wasn't totally prepared for anybody who had swung that wide. Instead, I think he was expecting that person to be around triple. And here, Fer messes up the 1v1 or 1v1 by just shooting, by just spamming the box, not being aware of the fact that he could get peeked right after.
Imagine if you had a decoy. It's further. You throw the decoy, fake the sound.
Damn.
Oh, he's reloading. Oh my god, it was a decoy.
Stewie waiting for the right time. Always nice to have the delayed peek. We'll see how much patience Showtime has. Stewie not looking to buy a carpet down there. The shop's closed. Fallen. God damn. Neckers wasn't expecting that one. Surely, did he hit a steps? Did he hit a priming of the grenade? Either way, Stewie finds perfect timing, but Yell will trade. So that's 2 players around a B bomb site, and that's nothing unusual. If Yo had a good spawn, it's reasonable for him to go for a pick towards the B bomb site.
I think that Fer actually saw him going to B, ran all the way back down cat instead of pushing a top mid. And are they overstacking? No, just Fer.
Just Fer, no Kevlar, but he has an AK and one teammate to support with the C7. That's a good first frag. Bolts can still cause immense pain. All of the pain. Ooh, gets the catch onto the AWP. Time for the reload. Spots the next one. PKL has so many angles to deal with. This is the reset run if they lose it. PKL, too many angles, too many man.
They were about 15 seconds as well. I feel like people always forget that you can spray through that bench position. If he sprayed through it, maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 bullets.
But then you're inaccurate. And if they peek you...
Yeah, that's why 4 or 5 bullets. You should still have enough control of your spray to deal with it, but it is very sprayable. I still remember when they made that change to make it more penetrable. Very long time ago. Now we have Luminosity feeling like their buy is somewhat lacking. Galil, UMP, and a bunch of pistols trying to use the numbers game. Bolts bouncing a grenade. Big damage being done by Bolts and Fur. That is a very brief push from Luminosity. Tactical timeout from Luminosity. $2,000 mark for them. Less than ideal situation. Nekke's only got 2 kills so far. Showtime 3 kills.
He got all his kills last match. Everyone else's turn.
So now Fur's on the M4A4. I wonder what we will see from him when the next buy round comes in from Luminosity. We might not see any craziness in this particular round, but then maybe it's a new SK. Maybe we will see some changes and less predictability. Maybe they will play against expectation, as we've seen Fur with so many of those AWP rounds. Not your normal service.
Yell down. Showtime down. 3 clocks remain. They're about as effective as spitting on your opponents at this point. Little spud guns. Spud guns are always very disappointing.
Spuds.
And they
Spud
really
guns sucked.
they really work properly.
Catapults would have won.
Potato guns.
But wouldn't it? Isn't it a slingshot? Because a catapult is the
It's a big one.
the siege weapon, the massive siege weapon.
We had siege weapons in the ends, man.
Because surely the slingshot's more similar to like a trebuchet, actually. We're being technical.
I wonder if I have things at home that could be classed as siege weapons. Maybe. Second smoke grenade on short suggests a fast B play, but the bomb is top mid. Maybe it's to draw the CTs out. The CTs have had success, and there is Fur finishing things off. Ever dangerous Fur. Very hard man to stop, as evidenced by this round.
Stewie with a quick info check in mid. Doesn't see too much. Luminosity still moving around. It's really Luminosity at this point to sort of take the initiative, although SK's perhaps thinking about info, but they are in a 5v4, so they don't have to do too much in the way of information gathering. SK pretty well equipped for most things here. Holding on to connector. Short is open, but the player watching connector can also watch the vent, should that be a player that Luminosity go for. So SK really voiding much of the map. To see if it works out for them or if it actually punishes them, as Luminosity get a B split for free. However, they have to kill the players on the bomb site. The rotation's coming in. Oh, wow, that is crazy. But very nice frag there onto Steel. And there has been some time here for the rotation. Bomb only just now, perhaps even going down, and that leaves just PKL to hold the front lines, but he's done it. Takes down Stu.
Now it's just down to Fallen with the AWP, having to creep in with the USP. PKO, a random crouch. Completely random crouch, not even looking the same way. Denies Fallen the kill. That has to be so tilting.
He knew they were both things. There's no way he would have pulled out his USP like that. Stu calls it right here. Wow, that's really rough. They weren't even like 2 USP shots away from. They were both 1 USP shot away from death. Oh man, goddamn.
Goddamn. Stay around for Luminosity, just playing a default again. Watching for mid pushes, watching for underpass and apps aggression. It's holding everything down at the moment and waiting to see if SK do anything. But SK won't really do too much. They have the double orbs, and they'll just enjoy conserving their utility. And Falling gets into position here, and actually looks like they'll make a late play on mid. I like this a lot, actually. With Stu there is a player that can watch the underpass. Falling gets that initial frag. Now they can sort of play a bait setup if they wanted to, but it looks like Luminosity will just lose a player there, and it's going to have to make do at this point. SK sitting in mid with 3 players now.
This is like the perfect. I like the CT setup a lot. This is how you want to use Stewie and Fur, connector and mid and Cat. Fallen's perfect for this kind of play too.
PKL, here's the scoping. Ooh, leg spotted. PKL just barely though. Able to find himself the headshots onto Fallen as Showtime will assist coldzera in a frag, but it's going to be the 3v2 after, or rather 3. Retake of the A side. That's in store for SK now. But the bomb still needs to go down. There's 20 seconds to go here. PKL with another nice frag. 3 kills for him so far in the round, but the flank from Stewie will finish things off perhaps, as surely there's no time here. PKL looking for the next frag here. Looking like he might be good for it, but Stewie will shut him down. 9-4. PKL's really coming alive though in this Mirage game.
Absolutely, yeah, it's looking good. Stu as well though, still looking very sharp. And again, I like the setup for the running. It makes a lot of sense just looking at all these players on paper. I think it's cool they have 2 players who should be on great side anchors that can play alone. And then 3 very, very active and aggressive players to take over mid, which is super hard to do as a CT. The Fur opping though. Fur, that's the second time Fur has died opping because he shot when he wasn't guaranteed a shot and then got pushed.
It's all about that line. Rugby's jump not working out. Fancy. But Fancy will not get the job done on this occasion. So it's a formality this round. Oh, hello. A little bit of a dink. A little bit of a dink, but it won't be enough in the end. 10-4 for SK. Looking pretty good for that 11-4 because the economy is ruined. For Luminosity, another force buy in store for them as they try to clamber together for that 5th round.
I'm so looking forward to seeing the second half and SK's T side. So let's see if Luminosity can make it competitive. It's actually the back-to-back CZ buys, huh?
First shot is the cleanup operation there, though, causing some rotation is required. Now, these T's, they have some smokes. There is a player towards jungle. There's a slow flank from Fur, but he's going towards connector instead of flank. PKL takes Fallen out, and there are flashbangs to delay bolts. The grenade off the wall is not going to do so much. Flashes for the CT side as well, but the timing is perfect for the T1 response. And that leaves Fur alone versus 3. Who will be the initial engager? They don't know where he's coming from just yet. Some pre-fire round triple. And that will be that. Round number 5 for Luminosity. Fur monster indeed. 10 rounds for SK. 17 for 7 is Fur.
And Fallen looked like just not looking like he's very comfortable right now. It's just missing a lot of shots. And there was some good flashes from Luminosity to kill him and the other players on the team. But on the openings that he did have, it just wasn't clicking in time.
Yeah, it's definitely been a while since we've seen him at peak form, I feel like. Or at least like having those consistent highs that he had tournament to tournament. Nice start there for SK though, bursting on the mid, going for the quick B push. Up short, very nice. Showtime needs to win the 1v1, he will. It takes a lot of damage though in the process. Great flashbang out there to give Steel a bunch of free shots, which will work out massively well, enormously well. Fallen and coldzera now the last 2 men standing here to try to satisfy the round. James, can you talk? Because I'm struggling.
Fallen has shot Yell in the face. Nice, he sees the arm as well of Nekkers, and then he dies. Going back to the previous round, I actually asked Fallen a while ago if he found it difficult to consistently land the shot, like, or not, maybe not difficult, but more difficult than you would think, to consistently land a shot from CTA to people who were running out wide on ramp. And he said no, but I don't think it is. It looks like a very simple shot, but I don't think it's necessarily that easy to hit consistently.
So he said it was easy.
He thought it was like there was no difficulty to it, like it wasn't a particular challenge. But I think there is some challenge to it because people they can stop immediately and peek, or they can run out wide and peek, and I don't know, different players will do different things, so you can't have the same expectation, like put your crosshair somewhere where they're going to run into it, and when you react, you'll be dead on.
I think it comes down to how you read the round, because if they're doing a rush, the first guy can't stop. In a professional, like on a professional team, he can't really be stopping to shoot you, because his teammates will get blocked and so on. So I think that's one thing that may come into play.
CZs. They got mid control, window control, 2 kills.
Okay. Oh, hello.
And now they've lost the bomb. So there is time to recover, but not necessarily the personnel. Perhaps it wasn't a round they were supposed to win anyway. But for a time, there was a window of opportunity. Now their fingers are hanging off the windowsill. And they will not be climbing in anytime soon.
They still attached to their hands.
Their fingers have been stomped now, and they are in freefall.
That's not good.
They've been bashed with a hammer.
It's very gruesome.
10-7 in favour of SK. The score is starting to look better for Luminosity. This should be a fine round for them, as it's a Glock round for their opponent, SK Gaming. 3 players headed towards A for the T Brazilian side. Mostly Brazilian side on the T side. Seems firm, I may show some presence elsewhere. Cold Zero now rotating towards A. Does Yo go back? He's got, well, Nekkers could flash him in, but Nekkers is also trying to keep an eye on Connector, so he will choose the latter. And all is well here for Luminosity. 3 kills, free money.
This will be the real test, though. SK get the AKs out. We have not seen a fast set piece from SK on the T side yet, have we?
No, they haven't done one yet. They have gone for mid.
Okay, well, mid will be met with a challenge. CL makes a jump across on top of the railings and now down below them as he sits there ready to try to trade for Nekkers, but seems untradeable. Although, as I say that, the nade will come in from Steel and the job will be done. But still down a man, making it a 4v4, so not ideal for the CTs, but they've got a lot of presence towards B at the moment, so perhaps they were reading somewhat of a B split or something similar to that effect. They're starting to rotate back now a little bit.
This is quite dangerous. They've got 2 people going up cat, 1 with the bomb. You know, if anyone dies here,
They both get hit, but 1 survives. That is the information, though, for the side, and there is a player in Connector, and that bomb has been lost. There's a minute on the clock, but that's a rough one. Luminosity make it to round number 9.
I think they were going to leave Cold Zero top mid as they walked up cat, and then he would flash it so that they could cross, but instead they lost Cold Zero to this nade, and then they ended up having to peek it. I don't know if they wanted to dry or they chose to or whatnot, but ended up getting them collided.
Not quite hitting the mark there for SK. And that leaves him in a less than stellar position. Showtime jumping, having a look with the Molotov, and that will expend some of the Luminosity utility, but the bomb has not been committed and will rotate elsewhere. SK will try to use the close quarters now with guns such as the CZ-75, although Yell has different plans, and his plans look superior for the time being.
Well then. Okay. Some interesting penetration kills. Penetration kills.
Okay.
I told you, gents, I'm very tired, so my brain is not as fully functional as it should be.
At least you're leaving soon.
That's true.
Go
that is.
to your physio.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Maybe you should go now.
I could.
Maybe you should wait in the waiting room.
I want you here, Ben.
You can call me on the phone and I can commentate over the phone.
That'd be cool. You know, Gucci Mane made an album from prison on the phone.
Who did?
Gucci Mane.
Oh.
It's pretty good. Except it sounded like it was on the phone in prison.
coldzera and bolts left. And the bomb is going down. As we can see, Steel creeping into the Palace position. Ooh, bolts. Has he seen the gun? Surely radar. Radar. There we go.
Ooh.
Bish bash bosh. That leaves Cold alone. Where is the double peek from Yell? In fact, they'll simply go for the defuse, the round-winning play instead.
Nicely done. All tied up. Luminosity really fighting back. I mean, the start on this map from SK looks really good. Like, they had such a strong first half. And, you know, things are really slipping away at this point. Luminosity found their feet, found their momentum. They've got the double ops going as well. So this round will be somewhat telling. Fallen will pick up an AWP of his own. The money's still not super amazing for Luminosity, but they'll be there sooner rather than later if SK are unable to have a good round here. Cold going straight up there. Very fast timing. And he won't catch anyone off guard just yet. Doesn't even find any damage. And Luminosity know which positions are compromised here. So they'll definitely adjust their positions for this. And Cold is somewhat of the playmaker here. Just him being in that position changes how the CTs can play and what they need to worry about.
Oh yeah. It's like if you were to replace a bishop on somebody else on the chessboard, they would have to decide how they can now move their own pieces.
Bishop Desmond 2-2. The trades continue, 3-on-3 now, and AWP still in play on both sides. Fur picked off around the stairs. Neckers and Fur maybe with a role reversal. Fallen is blind, but he's still in position with an off angle. But now he's the last man standing with the AWP versus 3. How does he make this happen for his team? Luminosity looking to take the lead, and maybe his barrel will concede his position. It will. He'll miss the shot. Aim punch helping Neckers as well, perhaps. And there is round number 11 now for Luminosity.
Luminosity.
Can they close it out though? It would be a glorious day.
It did last map, and it was a big comeback too. I think it was 9-3 in the beginning of the last map. Made it 16-11. 16-11.
SK with the Palace pop. Go fast here. Oh, that name might be very good. Does a nice chunk of damage, but Stu gets the opener. And the bomb can be planted pretty much immediately there. They'll go for the default box. Boss will take down Neckers. 3v5 retake. That's not that good of a look here for Luminosity. Yellow finds Fallen. And maybe this is on after all. They do have 2 incendiaries. They have the grenades for this. Are they all going to come from CT? Looks like that's what they're going for here. And that's because they understand that jungle is unsafe. Now there's all kinds of plays you can make here as a CTs with the nades that they have. And it being a default plant, it's not incredibly helpful for SK, but it looks like Luminosity don't want to go for it anyway. Just holding on to CT spawn. SK will win a round back very critically because their money was in a pretty poor position and they will survive the round with 4 players. That's a very big deal for SK.
Eleven to 11. There is some kind of pause. Technical, perhaps, I don't know. No, there is an unpause. Marvelous. No sniper rifles for the T side. Tactical timeout for SK.
This is something that the couple of different looks they've given to mid so far they've been doing recently. The coldzera going fast up cat through his smoke and then getting into ladder room. Not exactly sure why that failed so badly because they got so much control early on. It should have at least been a close round. So I wouldn't be surprised if they try that again with some slight nuance. And then that previous round where they did the flash pop to come out of Palace is super strong. It works really well if you don't think there's an Opera in CT. And sometimes you kill them anyway because people are very good at pre-aiming that when they swing out of Palace. So that's in their back pocket as well. I think the only other thing is their B split, which they tried but failed, and they missed it. They were missing a key player in that round, and lost 2 people because of it. So I think they also might go back to that.
Many smokes down around the map, but there's nobody in mid for SK. Not just yet. coldzera and Stewie lurked for the time being, suggesting perhaps some presence in that position. But no one for the CT side has eyes on mid, so they don't know what's going on at the moment. Luminosity, they are very devoid of information. And that will leave them in a basically 3-0-2 setup. Nobody close short.
Damn, 5A ramp. 2 not throwing smokes though, so they seem to be going up more quickly.
Indeed they are. Look how they spread so quickly, not standing in a choke point, just moving through the site. PKL taking down in isolation. And the CTs will have to reposition while they wait for these smokes to go. There's the pop flash, and it's going to continue here for the T side, but is anybody ready to take out Yell? No. Still, it's a man advantage for SK Gaming. Neck is moving into the position where Jordan likes to play as well, Mr. Nothing Gilbert. Somewhat between the Palace Peak and Connector, but Yell, how does he avoid getting traded here? He has the HE grenades. Can't know what the situation is for these players. There's 1 for Neckers, there's 2 for Neckers. Is the communication there for the 3rd player on top of Tetris? Here comes the peak, and there it is. They both have the kit as well. What a retake from Luminosity.
That was truly unbelievable. And it's down to the last few seconds. If they only had gotten 1, maybe both of those trades, which was entirely possible. You know, that round's over and over quick, but they didn't expect Yell to have jumped up on the box and stayed behind that smoke, and if they hard cleared him, he was blind for a second. So all credit there to Nekas and Yell. I thought that the A-Tick looked really good though. They executed it how they want to. They baited up the Molotovs initially, so they ran up and they didn't have to worry about any counter grenades. I liked how they had 5A ramp, but they had 2 really close not throwing smokes or nades so they could just run up quickly. I think that was a nice caveat, because I'm not a huge fan of 5 players A ramp.
SK Gaming running out of opportunities. Money is tight, falling on all of 1 HP. Bolt passive in Palace. In case of a push, now starting to move through, as you can see on your radar. Will be the run boost from SK. coldzera will spot some information, but what can Stewie really do about it? The push in the underpass has not worked out for them, and they're getting wiped out in the middle area, and that leaves Bolts alone in Palace. Yells from Triple, takes him down for free. Luminosity with a superior setup.
Yeah, they were extremely well prepared for this. PKL's right here with a teammate just behind him and steals the window with the rifle, so he can easily jump and peek down into underpass. It seemed like for SK, as soon as that first kill comes out, we get these easy trades at mid. We might even win this round, but their Luminosity are with the backup insurance. It's pretty crazy. They've actually brought this all the way back. Earned themselves a save, and will be 2 away from closing this game out.
Oh, beautiful combo from Yell. That means that there's no boost for Fallen. Doesn't need to take this fight, but does anyway. Why the hell not? Look at the confidence now from Luminosity. Looking good with Steel in tow, it must be said. But by no means is this over. SK on the buy once again.
Yeah, they've at least got that. So it's going to come down to what they want to do. And again, I think they have a lot of options that they feel like if they execute again properly could work. I think that B split's on the table. I think mid control's on the table. Just not like how they did last round.
Same setup, but maybe they weren't expecting Cold to be so aggressive behind the boxes already. And Luminosity choose to break their own setup early, maybe because of the flashes, I don't know. They've lost a man early. Showtime in the ladder position. All of a sudden, much action around the mid area for trying to identify if somebody is waiting for him. And Steel answers yes. forced to retreat as the smoke goes down. There might be a gap in the smoke for PKL to look at.
SK know, if they're smart, that this round isn't over. They've been here before and not closed it out. They have connector control, A ramp. Players are close and on standby. And now they've started to execute. Fully complete.
That is the bomb, and Steel again with the multi-frag. His teammate's blocking him. He would love to stay alive right now, managing to escape with 20 HP. Can switch positions, and the communication might be there that he's low, but it's not him there anymore. And it's Bolt's left alone once again. 1 versus 3, 1 player CT, 1 player jungle, 1 player connector. Who does he engage first? It's a pre-fire coming in. Trying to bait with the bomb plant, but nobody's giving anything up. PKL has a Molotov, but he does not have the angle with which to throw it safely. Maybe he does now, but Showtime will get the kill. He'll get there first, and that is match point Luminosity.
Unreal. They've really earned it. They did not give them an inch. I mean, every time they needed to execute, they made it impossible. They made the retakes possible. When they wanted to do a walkout, they had a lot of riflers waiting and ready to shoot them. And in that situation, leaving jungle open was the one thing that Luminosity were hoping for, as well as this very important piece of information that Yell took from them in pushing Palace when it was A ramp and connector that SK were trying to split through. So they're finding all of the openings. They're not that many, but they're finding all the correct ones and exploiting them.
Oh boy, Fallen just got hit with a nail gun. Wielded by Nekiz. He's brazen enough to go for a second kill, maybe punishing the reload. Oh dear, it's looking like a total wipeout. Indeed it will be. 16-11, Luminosity take the second game as well.